What's up guys, Josh here, and today we're talking about if the programmer life is for you. Should you be a programmer? Well, it sounds good on paper when you're just like, yeah, I'm a software developer, I write some code and automate some stuff and made some scripts and they just did some stuff by themselves. Every time I was at the store or the mall, I would always want to go to where the electronics were, and I'd want to look at the new pointless gadgets, and I'd want to go to the computers and see what cool new hardware just came out and if those desktops had them, and then dream about if I could buy them somehow. I had no real interest in football or sports or any of those things that all the other people in my all the people in my class cared about. Basically zero interest in that. Ended up going to college for mechanical engineering, had almost zero interest in that. It was only fun for me when we were doing like SolidWorks, doing like some design, making some parts or contraptions, or when we did PLC programming for automating conveyor belts with the little pneumatics on the sides. So here I am, 27 years into my life, finally doing programming, and it feels right. So if you're in that spot, I know what you're feeling. Here are a few questions if you're considering becoming a programmer, going to Code Bootcamp, something like that. So number one, do you like solving problems? Now everyone says, of course I like to solve problems. I'm a problem solver at heart, but I mean like reoccurring problems or problems that stop you in your tracks for like days, maybe even weeks. These are big problems, and you have to be okay with not knowing how to fix them. If you don't like logic problems, you're probably not going to like programming. Everything in programming boils down to yes or no, on or off, if, then, else. Throw a little math in there and things become real fun. Right? You'll need to be familiar with linear thinking and being able to follow variables around. It's being used here, 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 and on this page, and this function here, and you'll need to keep note of that or you'll get lost in code. Do you like to stay up late when you're not at work, doing more work? Because software development revolves around deadlines. That's just how it is. This isn't a job where you can work as you please and just be like, oh, I'll have it done when I can, and it'll be on your desk whenever I get the chance to do it. No, it's a deadline, this is it, and then you have to do it on that day. Adaptability is also key here because requirements for that deadline usually end up changing, and you'll need to be able to just accept that, okay, everything I've been working on for the past 2 weeks is now worthless, and we're doing it this way. And you'll have to be okay with that because that happens. Do you enjoy technology as a whole? Like, do you want to know how technology works? Automation, robots. It's easy to say that, yeah, I like technology because we all have smartphones, we all have computers, we all use technology, but do you really want to understand technology as a whole? Are you passionate about it? Like how programming boils down to binary, how it controls robots, how the chemical electrical signals work in your camera's CMOS device. Like passion is pretty big here. You have to really want to know tech. Do you enjoy learning? Like non-stop learning. Like you'll never be able to say that you know how to do everything and someone will come at you with a better solution every time. At least if you're not finding people that are coming up to you with better solutions, you're probably in the wrong room. You'll need to take your own initiative for getting things done, especially when you're stuck on problems. Obviously you can go ask for help and that's good, but you'll need to be able to be self-motivated when you're stuck and there's no one else around to help you or they're busy. You'll also need to stay up to date with what's new, and basically sometimes that can help kind of drive the direction of projects and make things simpler if you're working on something that uses whatever you just read about. That's happened to me before. Do you like long moonlit wait, no, this is the wrong script. Are you okay with not talking to anyone for the majority of the day and just sitting down by yourself, having some headphones on, just working alone, right? This isn't a job that has a lot of water cooler talk. You'll just be sitting by yourself the majority of the day, just doing what you need to do. Of course, you'll have your stand-up where you talk about what you worked on, what you're going to work on. This can be especially hard for some people that work at home because they're like, oh, I could never work at home. I would go crazy. So if you answered yes to most of these questions, then you may be a good fit for becoming a programmer, right? Most people think programmers are antisocial, awkward type people, but maybe there's some truth in that. Like a lot of programmers are actually introverted, but in order to be a successful programmer and not the weird guy at the office that no one can talk to, you need to be able to socialize. So just look at all of the meetups that there are for different code. There's like JavaScript meetups, there's PHP meetups, there's meetups for almost everything related to code. So it means that programmers are somewhat social, even if they're awkward. But programming is almost sort of like an art. It's like you're creating stuff, right? Whether that is a script that automates a machine or creating a nice website for a client or making a mobile phone app. Being a programmer boils down to you being able to deal with a constant barrage of problems, new feature requests, all with a deadline coming down on you. This means patience when you're dealing with problems you don't understand, and the ability to persevere and still push through when you think you have no idea of the answer and you have tried everything and you still have to keep pushing, right? You're like, there's no way I can figure this out, and then someone walks by, they're like, hey, did you check that? And you figure it out. And you wonder what you're doing for a living. When you first start as a programmer, it can be intense. You'll spend a lot of days not knowing what you're doing and feeling like you picked the wrong career. But what you do gain from this is kind of like a feeling of mastery after you've figured something out, and this kind of persists. When someone gives you a task, you're like, oh, I've seen that before, I kind of know how to do that. I could probably make that work. Even though you don't know everything, just having the feeling like, yeah, I could probably figure that out. It's a pretty rewarding feeling. As you work your way up through the field, you have the ability to basically choose your job. You can work for yourself, work for a company, make your own application, like start your own business. A lot of people like the lifestyle and the environment it brings, but the actual tasks themselves and the way that they get accomplished are very dependent upon the person doing them. You need to be self-driven. So these are just some things that you should keep in mind if you're thinking about becoming a programmer or pursuing it. I have the engineering degree, the mechanical engineering degree, and I do programming, and I think I fit much better with programming than with mechanical engineering. If you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we have a Discord, be sure to check that out, links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.